I've never seen anyone's life get better by complaining about reality. I've seen it get better by accepting reality as it is, and then making personal decisions to make it better, but never with the help of complaining. Lasting happiness can only be achieved throughout the cultivation of soul and mind, and cultivating our souls and our minds requires us to live with moral purpose. Turning a blind eye to evil, however, doesn't make it disappear. It allows it to grow, and those who allow evil to grow in order to protect their own convenience will be held accountable for the end results of the evil they facilitate. No picture should lower the moral standards of those who see it for the first time. And I'm not talking about pictures. Now, let that sink in for a moment. When facts become secondary to emotion, truth dies, and a society that doesn't value truth cannot survive. As a society, we have robbed men of their protective missions. Men who seek to protect women and children are called anti-feminist or gender normative. Men have abandoned their responsibilities to the state. As for building things well, there too, men have been told that to build is to selfishly act without concern for the community, and young men have no male role model since many of their fathers have abandoned the true maleness of their origins in the pursuit of social improvement or standards, or even worse, have abandoned their will to stand their ground for the protector instinct that God gifted to them. There is no such thing as your truth. There is only the truth and your opinion. We don't live in a perfect world, but we do live in the best world that has ever existed. Outside our struggles, the least we can do is to make a peaceful place at home. After nearly half a century, it's easy to forget that the Hays Code was not some outside limitation imposed by the government. It was a content standard imposed by motion picture companies voluntarily, and the Hays Code stated, when right standards are consistently presented, the motion picture exercises the most powerful influences. It builds character, develops right ideals, inculcates correct principles, and all this in attractive story form. If motion pictures consistently hold up for admiration, high types of characters and present stories that will affect lives for the better, they can become the most powerful force for the improvement of mankind. The most important thing that people don't see clearly are the lies about guaranteed security that are far more seductive than lectures about personal responsibility. You don't have to hate people that resort to sketchy attitudes. In fact, it can be an absolute blast. And it can be really amusing just to watch them do it. The moment you don't give a damn about what they say about you because you realize they started lying just so they can have an argument, is the moment you have the upper hand. You have to look like you're a nice person in order for people to believe that you really are one. Scientific studies show that people will judge you literally within milliseconds of seeing you. Make them see what you want them to see. When doctors don't know what is causing a disease or how to cure it, they call it a syndrome. When sociologists don't know what is causing a problem or how to cure it, they call it systemic. There will always be a named reason behind foul knowledge. But in the end, we need solutions for the rising problems, not names for them. The saddest part about life is that straw men are easier to knock down than real arguments. The use of force and violence over the simple task of expressing a point of view with facts and logic, just because you are wrong, is the downfall of any society. It's far more common for humans to routinely pick up weapons and try to kill those with whom they disagree than it is for those on the other side of the ideological spectrum. It's like a jungle with individuals that don't possess a moral compass nor compassion for their own well-being, and eventually they end up in some hole at some point. My question is simple. For what? Just so you can be right? Was that worth it? Unfortunately, men are destructive in the absence of responsibility. So, for all the young fellas that will hear this, find a purpose and stick to it. After you completed that task that you have taken upon you, find another one and build responsibilities that will fill out your life with joy and accomplishment. With that, you will have meaning in completing the circle of life. Happiness is the pursuit of purpose in our lives. If we have lived with moral purpose, even death becomes less painful. Plenty of young men have hit women because they had no moral compass and did not believe in the basic concepts of virtue. Plenty of young men lack such a moral compass and belief in virtue, thanks to the lack of male role models. Teaching respect for women begins with ensuring that solid male influences models fill the lives of young men, men who respect women, cherish them, treasure them, and believe in protecting them. This is an unpopular stance because it suggests that boys require men to raise them, which they do. Like the Bible, Aristotle didn't define happiness as a temporary joy. He saw happiness in a life well lived. Always remember, if you can be anything in life, be a Stoic. Support with a like and subscribe for more Stoic empowerment.